a roller coaster. You were maybe a little excited and nervous at first, and then by the end, you're just like weeping and crying uncontrollably. It can be a little bit like a roller coaster, see, because it's not always what you expect. And that's the big problem with the online tutoring industry. They have these big companies that make all kinds of promises, like you're going to make $20 to $25 an hour, or you'll have all the students you want, and you'll be able to fill your schedule. And most of the time, that's just not true. And worse yet, there are all kinds of little like secret little like needles that they poke you with. Like you have to sign a very restrictive contract, but the company can change the contract whenever they feel like it. There are teachers right now posting on Facebook groups talking about how their contract was changed and now they're making less money than they were before, even though they're doing the same amount of work. That's not fair because you can't just change a contract, but because it's all international agreements, there's no way to enforce this stuff. So what's the solution? Well, for a lot of us, we think, what if I could just start my own business? Wouldn't that be amazing? If I could get my own students, then I wouldn't have to deal with this company that doesn't care about me, this company that treats me like a cheap resource that they can just throw away, right? So how do you do that? That's the big question. And that's the question that I have the answer to. So here we go. I'm going to bring up the first topic. I'm going to give you some tips on the screen here. Is it all right if I just leave the roller coaster running because I think it's so funny? I'm just going to leave that on the screen for now. So the first tip I want to give you is how to get your dream student. So first you have to figure out who your dream student is. What age is your dream student? What are their goals? Mostly, what are their problems? So a lot of us, when we think, okay, I'm a teacher, I teach math or I teach English. Okay, so all of the people who want that, they're just going to find me. But that's not the way the internet works. You have to actually find them. You have to create content that that student is going to want. But the problem is there's a lot of competition. A lot of people are teaching these same things. So how do you stand apart? You do that by thinking, okay, my dream student, the student that really is going to enjoy my classes, and the student who I will enjoy teaching, loves roller coasters, for example. So in my class, I'm gonna talk about roller coasters as a way to get their attention. So maybe my free introductory class is going to be about roller coaster vocabulary. So all of the students who are interested in that are going to want to take my class. And then of course, you can teach other things, but that's how you get their attention. So you think about your dream student, what are they interested in? How can you get their attention? Create content online like that. They'll find you. All right, next tip. The sticky message. So create sticky messages. What is that? A sticky message is a message that you put out there and people stick to it. Because think about Facebook. You're reading Facebook or Instagram and you're just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and you're kind of bored and things are like a little bit interesting, but you just keep scrolling until something catches your attention and you stop scrolling and you look and you read that message or watch that video or look at that picture. What made you stop scrolling to look at that? Well, it was sticky for you. Another way to describe this is it's a hook. It's like a hook. So it caught your attention and it made you look at it. So you're going to learn how to make sticky hooks to catch the attention of your dream students. You can do that by using messages that cause curiosity, a curiosity response, and an emotional response. So an example would be how like English, let me think of a good example here. I'm just making this up as I go. Okay, so the one thing I wish I had known, in the one English word I wish I had known before I went on the roller coaster. Okay, keeping with the roller coaster theme. So all of your roller coaster loving students are going to read that and think, oh, well, I want to go on a roller coaster in Chicago. What's that word that I should know? And so they'll stop and they'll read your post or they'll watch your video. Okay, so make sure that you can actually follow up with your sticky message. You don't want to like start with a lie and then don't actually follow through, right? So you got to be consistent and honest, right? So that's the key. All right, next up, the third tip I have for you is Bam, join the conversation. So what does that mean? There's a lot of people out there on the internet, on social media platforms, talking about things related to your subject matter, whether it's math or science or English or reading. There are people talking about the problems surrounding the things that you can teach. So English students are talking about their challenges with learning English. Math students are talking about their challenges with learning math. So find the places where they're talking about those challenges and join the conversation. Start talking about solutions. Make yourself a constant presence in those communities. And then when you are ready to launch a training program, people will already know who you are, and you'll be recognizable. And so you'll immediately get free traffic to your website just because you put in the time to build your reputation. Okay, so join the conversation. That's tip number 3. Okay, so those are my 3 top tips for starting to create your online presence so you can get your own students online. If you want to learn more tips, go to tutorsidehustle.com/traffic. That's the website URL that's been scrolling on the bottom of this video. There's also going to be a link below the video in the description. I have a short web class that covers these tips and goes in a lot more depth. And I think it's going to be really helpful. That's the feedback I've been getting. People seem to really like it. If you have any questions, you can always post below this video. I'd love to answer. And with that, I hope you have a good day, and I'll talk to you again soon. All right, bye.